That's bullshit.
Well, what's been new? A lot shaken. I went up to Hot Springs and saw that ortho doctor.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, it's all in motion now. I'm getting both knees done.
At the same time.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was all up into the misconception that they literally cut your knees off and put in new ones. That's not that way.
It doesn't work that way? I thought that's what they did. I thought they just took a grinder
That's what I thought too.
chainsaw.
Yeah. Well, here, let me clip the rest of it. Throw that stuff in the garbage.
Like a Lego.
Yeah. Let's get some bionics in here.
All right.
It's not that way at all. I mean, they literally shaved down one side and put in kind of like a receiver, and then the other side has a post that they pound in.
Right.
And thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And but anyhow, I was pretty well convinced, and so was he. So, they do an X-ray of my knees. We go into this room. Oh, I'm just finishing a cold too.
I see that. Okay.
And and now, speaking of that, anytime I feel like things are coming on, I always do a test, COVID test. Negative.
Okay, yeah. It could be allergies, could be a brain tumor.
It could, yes, in between there. So anyhow, so we go into the little room and everything. She pulls up the X-rays and she does this kind of thing. Looks at me. Those are bad. I said, "Hey, you're talking about my knees."
It's not the years, it's the mileage.
Yeah, those are real bad. I mean, they are just literally bone on bone. And I'm like, well, I could have told you that. You don't need a picture of that.
No cushion in between the femur and.
Yeah, she goes, "You must be in real pain." I'm like, I guess I got used to it. And but anyhow, so she says, "Yeah, when the doctor sees that, he's going to say the same thing." He walks in, he looks at it like, "Those are bad." What's with you guys talking about
Ka-ching.
my knees? So
I get a bonus out of
that. So anyhow,
so what steered you towards doing both of them at the same time?
Because it doesn't look. I mean, like I said, I had a misconception. I honestly did. I honestly could, figure cutting off the ends of bones and and shoving posts up inside and getting this thing right. Hey, grab that come along. Let's get it together. And it's not that way at all. I mean, it made a lot more sense to me.
It's actually just microscopic, isn't it?
No, they cut you open. They go in. This is a metal with a. And I asked her what's the plastic made of? Is it what's that BPH?
Oh yeah. BPH is it BPH free?
Yeah. Of course, she asked the question.
I may get water on the knee.
Yeah. But after he explained it and everything, even he felt, and he told us, he says, it's totally up to you, but we have people that they get one done and then they remember how bad it was and they don't come back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and he looked at me and he says, "You've got to be in pain." I'm like, "Well, I guess I am." But how you just kind of like whatever.
When you have a debate with yourself whether or not to get up, bend over.
Do I really need that across the room?
I need one of those extendo claws.
And it's getting to where I don't want to do stuff outside because it's painful.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I just decided, and he told me, he says, "If you're in that much pain," he says, "the pain that you're going to receive on this is going to be similar, so you might be able to handle it."
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, I'll go for it.
And that's a recovery and rehabilitation. Yeah. Okay.
So anyhow, it's in motion. Thursday, I go up to the hospital and they're going to work on strengthening up the muscles around in my legs. in preparation.
In
for it.
preparation for the new
Yeah.
appliances. Okay, I got you.
So anyhow, starting that, and that's what we're getting into.
Okay. Do you have a schedule? I mean, or
Yeah,
is it's just more
Yeah.
formulating now?
Well, no, I'm on a schedule, but it's not nailed down exactly when I'm going up to have it done.
Right, right.
It's probably going to be in March.
That's soon.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
Liz, her blood pressure's up because she's worried about taking care of me. Can I take care of her? Take care of him. And I'm like, yeah, it's all coming back. All those years that you wouldn't help me when I was sick. I mean, she's a nurse, and you can ask anybody that has a wife or a nurse. It's like this. Help anybody in the world, even the dogs and cats.
Yeah, that's my job.
Yeah, but when she comes home and you're sick, it's like, heal thyself. I don't want to do anything with you.
Heal thyself.
Yeah. So now she's got to do something. Oh, and she told me to tell you, she might need your help too.
Well, I'm available for sure. I mean, that's going to be pretty intensive.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I really don't. I mean, I know there's going to be pain. It's got to, anytime you cut yourself, you've got to, especially invasive.
Well, tell her, just reach out to me.
Yeah, I'll tell her.
And I'll say, well, let me see where I can put you on the list.
Yeah. And how much I can laugh at you.
Oh, geez. Karen told me, she says, talk to you about doing the Simple Simon's lunch with Shirley.
Oh,
when a good time would do that.
Okay, well, what do you have nailed down?
I have nothing. Let's just kick the can around.
Okay.
I'd look at my phone, but there ain't nothing on there anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, let's take a picture of your phone. Yeah, that's. Let's see.
Oh, how did you like the logo?
Yeah, I like
intro?
That. I like that. Yeah.
That cool. Is some bull beat.
Well, let's see here. You know what? I'll have to get back to you because Liz is tied up with the election stuff for a while.
Well, yeah. I mean, she wanted me to throw it out there because I haven't reached out to Shirley or anything. So
okay. Yeah.
I just want to get that rolling.
Right. Yeah, I mean, as far as me, first night of Ramadan. Let's see here.
I don't even know what that is. What is that?
That's a religious holiday.
Oh.
As Carol Lee's mom and dad would say, there's some. They'd come to Minneapolis to visit, right? And there's a fair Muslim, community up there, and she says we'd be going down the road, and mom and dad were like, "There's some," pointing out these folks, especially the Sikhs, they definitely. Oh, we're in trouble.
Oh.
Well, you can get in trouble.
Ooh.
It's not like I haven't been there before.
I hear you.
Threaten us with a good time, will you?
Yeah.
9 times I've heard that.
1,000?
A lot.
Can you just please be original?
Well, my wife tells me that. Threaten me with a good time, will you? I'm like,
Mom does me that too.
jeez. I'm like, oh, you're sick. I know what I want.
You're. How old is your old man?
35.
Sounds like a pup to me. 35.
What was I doing at 35?
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about that. I bet you'd like us to order.
Sure, if you want to.
Or
Chicken fried steak for me, please.
would you
And
like your eggs?
I'd like my eggs over medium. I would like a biscuit with pat of butter and the gravy on the side, please, for the biscuit. Now you can smother the.
I got you.
Yeah, you know where I'm going with that.
I'm not sure, but that's fine. I'm gonna go with your supreme omelet,
All right.
and I like grits with it.
All right. Biscuit and gravy or toast?
Biscuit and gravy.
All right. I got you.
I like gravy in my grits.
Yeah.
Grits and gravy.
I prefer.
Yeah, I'll get with you.
Yeah. Let's start stirring that pot. I haven't talked to Shirley since the last got together.
So Liz is like she has me on this accelerated schedule. You know, it's springtime and now it's time to clean things up and stuff. And she's like, well, it really should get that done before he's done. And maybe it'll happen. She's thinking I'm going to be an invalid for like 8 weeks or something. I'm like, not going to happen. I'm going to get through the pain. And
Just bring my coffee to me. Have my remote here. Now that we've got fiber.
When I was finishing my career and I was living in that RV out in Redfield,
Right.
I had fiber then.
Mm-hmm.
Redfield was the place that the fiber ended. And everybody in town had great stuff, and me included. And so I started watching Amazon Prime, and they had a show come out called Bosch.
Is that microphone on?
I think so.
Yeah, live.
I guess I can.
I tried charging these guys. There, it's on now.
It was on when I put it on. I might have turned it off when I clicked
Now
it.
it's a little green light. I'm sorry. I'll get back to your story, but I tried charging them and it wouldn't give me any indication that it was charging. And I'm thinking, well, I get what I pay for. Paid $20 for this thing, so I'm like, I get what I pay for. Anyway.
Yeah, well, now you're going to need a sound man.
Yeah.
Hope you can put him in your budget.
Well, what I'll probably do is bring AirPods, and each one of us will have an AirPod in our ear. Yeah.
Gee.
Because I got a set of those.
I was going to get a set, but I'm like,
Well, these are the Gen 2s. It's like $100 for them. So it's not like the latest generations where you're spending $50,000 for these stupid things at Walmart.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Back to your.
So anyhow, I got into this series called Bosch, and it's about a detective in LA and stuff like that. What I love about it is
I think I've seen that.
what I love about it is it shows a view that people don't really understand about law enforcement, especially detectives, and especially in a big city,
Yeah.
and the complicated lives these guys live, as well as doing their job. And and maybe it's this way in police forces. I know in the military it's that way. Your personal stuff you put to the side because you got to stay on mission, right?
Right.
And if it starts to affect you, you have to say, "Can't do it." I'm losing my edge, or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Well, this guy is like, he's a bulldog, and it's he's one of those. He doesn't break the law. Bends it,
He's still in the gray area. Yeah.
He plays in the gray. And, but anyway, I started watching, and I think I got through season 3, and then I retired, sold my trailer, and come over here, right? Well, now I live in the boondocks, and HughesNet's not going to let me have streaming, no matter what their commercials say, and I don't care how many.
That's all marketing.
Oh, we got a satellite specifically for you. It's sitting right up here.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Still doesn't let me stream.
No.
So now that I
Not
have
at
the real
72,000 miles up in the sky.
stuff in geosynchronous, but now Liz and I are like going through these shows and stuff, and I'm like, I'm going to start watching this again. I want to pick up the back.
Yeah.
And I actually
now they're on season 15, right?
Well, it went for 7 seasons. That's
7 seasons. That's a long run.
So I started from the beginning just to get the feel of it again. Liz just loves it.
Oh yeah.
And now we're like, looking at the clock. Can we watch one more? You think before we go to bed? I mean, we're terrible.
Well,
about
now I
binging.
am retired.
Yeah, I know, but you still have to live with the consequences. So, so anyhow, that's what we've been doing is binging on Bosch, and then there's some others too. I found out she's kind of a revenge kind of person.
Who?
Liz.
Liz?
Yeah.
Oh.
We watched Reacher.
Oh yeah, I watched all that. Yeah.
Yeah. We watched that. I mean, it's just pure violence.
Yeah. It's action. I like action.
Pure action.
Yeah.
And then we watched.
Now, have you watched the Reacher with the Scientology guy? What's his name?
Yeah, I've watched.
Maverick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's another series of Reacher. It's a different character or a different actor.
That's the one we binged. It's on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they only did. Well, they've only done 3 seasons of that?
Maybe two
seasons.
2 seasons.
Yeah, well, we cleaned that out.
Yeah, me too.
And we cleaned out all the Jack Ryan. That was kind of
Jack Ryan's good. I like
to
Jack
watch.
Ryan.
And now we're on this Bosch, and it like I said, I love it for.
Now, is that on Prime?
Yeah,
Bosch is?
yeah.
I'm gonna search that up.
I was talking about it the other day with Liz. I says what I like about it is it's not like Law and Order. Okay,
Yeah.
There's a lot of pieces missing. This they can fill in the complicated lives. I mean, it doesn't matter. Big city law enforcement is
Yeah.
complicated. It's
Yeah.
raw. It's political. It's these people are compliance people, right?
Right.
I mean, that's what it is. I like what he says. He says I just work in the law.
Okay.
I don't work in right or wrong.
Right.
The moral part, no. If it says it on paper, I do it.
Mhm.
That's why when I was safety manager at the Air Force, we had this job to get into safety in the Air Force as a military person. You had to be a 5 level or better in your current career
Okay.
and be an E5.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when it first started out, they were literally bringing people in from basic and stuff. That didn't work out because they found out that having a 2-striper telling a general or a colonel and a wing commander that, this you
The optics are bad.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they decided, let's bring in some people that have experience, understand the Air Force.
Yeah.
As they would say, when you test as an NCO, you got the PME test, which is the military.
Right.
And then the SKT is your job, okay?
One.
And so anyhow, long story short, our job is when somebody wanted to cross train into safety, they come in to the local ground safety manager,
Right.
and that was me at the installation, and I would interview them, okay?
Right.
And then what I would do is make a determination if I recommend them for safety. And I'm telling you, mine was a little bit different, my interviews, But when I realized they were caught, like a LE or a security police, my interview was really intent on letting them know that, I wanted to know just because when you're a cop, you're a compliance person,
Right.
okay? And getting the bad guys or whatever you do, understanding the law and applying that law to whatever the situation is.
Sure.
It's understanding. In safety, you have to. Well, here's how I explain it. If you're looking at the OSHA regs, okay, you have 2 types of regs. You have I can't think of the term now. You have regulations that when it tells you ABC, you do ABC, okay? You don't deviate.
Right.
But the rest of it is like, this is the reg, but we have a gray area that you can function in. As a
Right.
matter of fact, because they had to write them that way because there's no way that you could write a regulation on every single thing.
Right.
You know,
Right.
is this coffee too hot for
Well,
people?
yeah.
And so,
It must be within a certain temperature.
right. The problem with with the cops that I found was they were just like, I want to tell people what to do, and this says this, you're going to do that. It's not that way.
Yeah.
And so I weaned a lot of them out.
So yeah, because a lot, you have to as a police officer, you're in an authoritative
Right.
position. You have to really exercise your authority.
Well, and that's, I'll give you an example. I had a staff sergeant that worked for me. Great guy, great safety guy, okay? But he got out and went to work for OSHA down in Birmingham, right?
Oh, okay.
And hooked up with him one day. I was in Charleston. His wife was from Charleston. And I was in Charleston for a conference or something like that. Checked him out to see if he was in town. He was. So we went out to eat and stuff like that. And he's like, oh, man, you got to get out of that mess. And I says, what are you talking about? He says, programs, safety programs and stuff like that. You got to get into the OSHA. Compliance is easy. And I said, of course compliance is easy. Read the black and white and tell them you're wrong. I says,
Yeah, basically that's it, right?
I says, you're just getting lazy on me. And that's because,
You're just lazy now.
well, it's because you're helping people run safety programs in their organization. You don't go in there and tell them that you're wrong, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes you have to. And
Right.
it's not necessary. You get them to run their program and help them with it.
Right.
Okay? So I didn't need compliance officers. I needed people that understood programs.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
And that's
Sure.
what I would and that's what I would do. I'm like, there was very few cops I allowed to cross train, and I had the last word on it
Yeah.
for the people on my installation.
Right.
If I signed I had to do a letter up and everything and send it into the safety center. If I said no, they backed it, and I did it. And it wasn't that they had anything against cops; it was how they presented themselves. And I knew where they were coming from, so I wanted to see how they presented themselves.
Sure.
And because I didn't need those kind. Me as a safety guy, I didn't need those kind of people. And I did have two cops. Well, Ciancio, the guy I was telling you about with the compliant or with the OSHA, he was a cop,
Yeah.
But again, he turned out to be a really good program guy
Right. Right.
because he got it. He got it. He saw the big picture. Thank you so much.
You're
Coffee's
welcome.
real good this morning.
Good deal. That's what I like to hear.
What else you like to hear? We'll say it. We'll say anything.
Books, movies.
So, yeah, that was my thing. And
Yeah.
I don't know how we got onto that.
Well, we were talking about Bosch.
Oh yeah. Well, anyhow, I guess what I like about him is I just like the complication of
Yeah.
of the world they live in,
Yeah.
and it's not that gray. There is gray, but it's not that gray. I mean, and
It's a very thin stripe.
yeah, and the interactions between partners and people and stuff like that. They have real disagreements about each other, but when it comes to doing the job, they're right on.
Yeah.
So it's a good series.
I'll have to look that up. I think
love
I've seen some of the Bosch episodes and got distracted by some shiny thing and didn't go back. So
Start from the very beginning.
oh yeah.
And so it's a pretty cool show.
You know what's next now? Now that you've got fiber, you've got good streaming. 90-inch TV is next in your future. I know it is. You're
Shut
gonna
up, Liz.
have to build a wall,
Shut up, Liz.
a new wall.
She's never going to see this part. I want this edited out. That's all she talks about.
Oh, a new TV.
She goes, "You think 85 would work?" Yeah, it would work, but are you going to put it up there? and we have a Samsung, and it's starting to wear out.
Yeah.
It's got two white spots up here.
Oh, pixel death. Oh.
Yeah. And then there's one on the corner. I pointed out the two white spots to her. She's like,
Now she can't unsee it.
"Yeah, she cannot see." And me, I can get past it. I mean, I can play with analog. I'm not that digital.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Once you see a pixel out of place or burned out,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah. That's all I see now.
I told her, I said, look, because Christmas comes, they're all on sale. They're cheaper. I said, when Christmas comes, we'll
They're
talk
cheaply
about
made anyway nowadays.
Yeah.
It's so funny, I cleaned out my storage unit. I dragging out electronics and stuff that I'm never going to use again. I must have recycled well over $1,200 worth of.
Still on?
Yeah, I don't think that mic's staying on. We're going Bluetooth next time. Anyway, but what's funny is I'll go there and see flat screen TVs in there. People are not even going to bother getting them fixed. You can't fix them. Thank you so much.
No, I don't think you can.
No.
We're in a real world of throwaway.
Sadly.
Biscuits and grits.
You got some gritters there.
I should have told her to put them on the side.
Well, they're on the side.
They're on the side.
In a bowl.
Oh, here. Every time I have grits, I always think of my cousin Vinny.
Right.
No self-respecting Southerner would do instant grits. I make these every once in a while for Liz.
I'm not a big grit guy. I'm not that gritty. So, anyway, so I've been cleaning out the storage shed, which, by the way, if you need a flat screen TV, let me know. I don't have 85-inch screen, but I definitely got a couple.
Yeah, I need one like a hole in the head.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Jeremy and Pause for God.
What's that?
Pause for God.
Pause for God, yeah.
Jeremy and Shivani are coming down. They're going through the motions again. We have to write up an affidavit again that we know her and we know Jeremy and all this stuff for her immigration stuff.
Well, wait a minute. Now, she's married to an American, doesn't that?
No, that doesn't do it.
Or is it the other way around? The guy.
No, it doesn't do it. She still has to apply for citizenship. And I had a buddy that worked with me at ECBC. His wife was Canadian.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter where you're from. It's just a slow moving thing to become a citizen.
It's a slow burner, isn't it?
Yeah, he told me. He said, he says, we got our package and everything, and the instructions were to take it to Memphis to the immigration office there.
Uh-huh.
And, the applications and submit the application. I says, oh, what was that like? He says, we go to this building that we were told to go to. We walk in, walk up to this door, indicated immigration office and stuff like this. And there's instructions on it. Submit application through this slot.
I was going to say, someone slide the door open?
No. It wasn't even
What's the password?
He said, we're like, what? And he said, so we dropped it in the slot. Nobody answered the door, and we walked away. He says, I had no idea what was going to happen. I'm like, yeah, they ain't got time for that.
Yeah, you don't get a date stamp or anything.
Nothing. Nope, you just drop it in the slot.
Well, that's kind of scary. Um, so does Shivani have to do this every 2 years, 5 years?
I don't know exactly.
Oh, okay.
But like I said, we did it once,
Mhm.
and then and now we're doing it again. So maybe it is every 2 years. I don't know what the deal is.
What about her employer? Can they submit an affidavit? Or?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, now she works for Tyson, so I don't know if they do it.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it's not like they don't have almost a complete division of folks from India.
Right.
There.
Right.
It's kind of funny listening to her. At first, she was all excited
Well,
about it. All these folks there, culture and stuff like this.
I guess the reason why I was thinking that is, my good friend Wilson, he's from Brazil, and he came here to attend college on a student visa, and then he got married to a woman there in Oregon, Anne, and I never. Now it may have happened, I don't know, but the way he talked is like, yeah, now that I married an American, I don't have anything to worry about now. Can't vote, but I tell her how to vote.
Yeah, there's a lot more to it than that.
Apparently. Yeah,
I mean, all that does is give you the door of opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So in her case, I don't know if that's what she wasn't looking for that. I mean, she could go to India and make tons of money, as is.
Well, I would have thought that since you married in America and you reside in America, that you didn't have to go through any verifications or recertifications or whatever. Apparently, that's not the case, huh?
No, actually, Liz's nephew was married to a girl from Mexico, and she was undocumented. She wasn't even born here, so they sweat that.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's my understanding.
So this is just a formality, or
No, I mean it's the real deal. And India is one of the countries that, if you decide you're going to become an American, you give up your Indian citizenship. You can't do dual.
You can't do dual?
Nope.
Oh.
Probably because, what do they have, 1 billion people?
Yeah.
We don't need you to belong to us and them. A real us and them.
Right.
Boy, that coffee is awesome.
Need a warm up?
I'm good for now. Thank you.
Thanks.
Does she want to become a U.S. citizen, or does she want to just be able to reside here?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I've never asked her that question.
Okay. I think it would.
I mean,
I think it would be
she
tough.
loves Jeremy. That's the thing.
Well, yeah, and I think it would be tough for her to give up her citizenship to India.
Well, of course. That's where mom and dad are at.
Mm-hmm.
And she's got a cool family.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy just loves them.
Mm-hmm.
But I told him, which, no problem. I told him that, you guys kind of slow the process down. Let's see what happens in 2024. Because they might want to hit over.
Yeah.
Like getting crazy.
Things are getting a little crazy.
But no, she loves my son, and we love her.
Wow. She's a good gal. Good woman. I mean, that's for sure.
So the other day I called them. I was at an auction in Mount Ida, and they're planning to come this week.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the reason they're coming down is because of we need to get this paperwork done this week, get it notarized, so they can take it back.
Right.
Okay.
And there's a local field office where she can take that paperwork.
No, this is going to her lawyer.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And so I was looking at the next auction, and I'm thinking, because they want to go with me this one on Saturday.
Oh. Uh-huh.
I said, well, it'll be fun. You know, you guys bring your car because I'm staying all day. But you know, you're going to get tired of it.
Yeah. When you get bored, blow out of here.
Yeah. But I called Jeremy and I'm like, hey, listen, you guys might want to reconsider coming down this week and come down the next week. Because that auction's going to have baseball cards. Jeremy's into trading cards again.
Oh, he got back into it?
Yeah. It's kind of fun. I mean, I told him, I said, you're in the wrong business. You need to be a color man on a radio station. Because, I mean, whatever stat there is about people, he's got it. He knows this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, matter of fact, like this year, 2 years in a row, he's won his fantasy football because he just knows this stuff.
That is way over my head.
Yeah, I did it 1 year, and I'm like,
You're like,
I mean, I picked a bunch of scrubs. But anyhow, so anyhow, I'm talking to him, and evidently they were arguing about something.
oh.
And he's been, even though he's smart with stats and stuff like that, he's been buying cards off of eBay.
Oh.
And she runs the finances real hard because they're saving up to buy a house, right? And, you know, it's kind of like, yeah, you're going to have to run it through me. Well, anyhow, she got on his case and said, no more cards. We're not going to know about more. So,
And then you go, we should come next week. There's all kinds of baseball cards at this auction.
he told me, and they were arguing, so I know he said this out a little bit about, you know, anger. Yeah, I can't do cards anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, well, I didn't know that.
I'm going to take my cards and go home then.
I says, well, I'll look at it. If I think it's something that, you know, he told me, he says, if you see boxes, just go ahead and get those. And, which I know what he's talking about, because when we lived in Grand Forks, the boys Clint had 10,000 cards.
Oh, man.
Lost them all in the flood.
Oh.
I mean, nobody expected the flood to come to our house.
Right.
I mean, that house was built in 1929 and never had a flood. But this was a 1,000-year flood. So anyhow, long story short,
He should have known.
he's back into it, and I've found some cards for him and didn't pay a lot, and I just give them to him. Matter of fact, I gave him a whole book of cards for Christmas.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God! And then a box of just random ones, and he's like, oh. So I made his Christmas.
So he likes sorting through them. And
Yeah,
Find
it's
the
not just
gems.
that, he knows them.
Uh-huh.
I told him, I said, this box has some Kirby puppets in it. Then he said, oh, yeah. So anyhow, long story short, I called him and they had been arguing. So he calls me back later, so sorry, Dad. You know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, hey, man, you're married. That's the way the game goes.
And you're going to have these moments. as long as they're moments.
But they have to come down because the documents that she sent us to fill out, they're time sensitive. So we're that's okay. Come on down. But then he calls me. He says, or talk to Liz and said, I might just come down next week. Yeah, sure, buddy. We'll see.
He is definitely addicted, huh?
I guess some of them I've got him do have some value to him. I said, man, you got to sell those. Just sell them.
I don't collect nothing. I have
Basically,
no passion.
same here.
I have no passion for
Nothing.
nothing material.
And when I look back on why I collected things, it was to show other people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, ain't nobody coming to my house. And I probably don't want you there. So,
No.
and it's my intent, sell my knife collection.
My little Atlas, for the past couple of days, he's been acting really strange. Now, this dog, because he's a designer dog, is allergic to everything. Allergic to air, name it. He's allergic to it. So the past couple of days, he would just wander around very lethargic, very dazed and confused. And he'd come down into the lab and, it's not cold, but he would, lay there and just tremor, like shiver, but it's not cold. And I think it's because he's so overwhelmed with the allergies that it's affecting him physically. So yesterday morning, I gave him an Apoquel, which is a allergic medicine. Mm-hmm. And that seemed to help during the day. But this morning, about 3:30, he started being restless again. And at first I'm thinking, okay, he's just hot.
Yeah.
Or he's just too cool, because I have this little fan running and I turn it on for him on my bed. And, but he was restless. He'd lay down somewhere on the bed and then he'd get up and move and lay down. And, so he was restless. So I got up and he was panting. So I thought, well, he's thirsty. So I'm going to put him on the floor. And there's a water bottle in the other room. Mm-hmm. So at about 3:45 this morning, I gave him another Apoquel. So I think I'm going to call the vet. They have an injection that doesn't have such aggressive side effects as Apoquel does. It basically turns off the blockers.
Histamine?
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but there's no side effects to this injection. And I think you can get it for 1 month or 3 months. So I'm gonna call him up and
every once in a while,
take him down there.
Jada, she'll go into a fit of itching. And every once in a while, I'll drop a Benadryl into her food, and that seems to tune it down.
Yeah. As long as he doesn't go into a grand mal seizure.
Yeah.
Now I'll try this, and if this doesn't shave this down, then I'll take him in for blood work.
Along with binging, we watched Something Stone. Gosh, can't believe my brain's going dead.
What's it called? Something Stone?
Yeah, he's a ex-LA policeman out in Massachusetts.
Who's the actor? Do you know him? Is he legendary?
He's the Blue Bloods guy.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. It's he's Magnum PI.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that series.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name.
That's
Something Stone. Yeah.
strange you talking about that because first thing he has to do is put his dog down.
No.
And I'm here,
Yeah. That's like John Wick. You ever watch John Wick series?
oh, Liz loves that. Like I told you, she's into revenge.
Killed my dog. So of course I had to go scorch earth on everybody.
Well, it's like Wahlberg and Shooter. You don't understand. They killed my dog. I love those memes that talk about you'd rather see somebody shot down the street than a dog hurt. That kind of stuff. I'm like, yeah,
Hey,
that's where we're at.
I got a lot invested in that animal.
We're definitely attracted to unconditional love.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it is very good.
It's a rare commodity. I was going to try that experiment, get Karen, throw her in a trunk, throw the dog in the trunk, see which one's happy to see me after an hour.
I think that's an easy bet.
I don't know. I'm not ready to be killed with a fork. So what are they doing this phone banking?
Phone bank. No, it's early voting.
Oh, it's early voting. Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
Primary voting.
Yeah, okay. My bad. I thought she was phone banking.
No. It's for the. She's working for the clerk.
Okay. I get you.
She's working down at the early voting site.
Carter Day?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like, phone banking. I thought you said phone banking. I'm like,
No,
no, not me. No. They tried to talk me into that. Let's see, that was when Governor Kitzhoffer was running for re-election, is supported by the union. Phone bank for him. I'm like, nah.
All right, y'all need anything else?
I don't want to sit at a phone. Thank you. I don't like them.
Y'all need anything else?
When you come back around with the pot, I'll take a warmer.
Perfect.
No, Connie Castleberry talked me into it.
Oh yeah.
Which is, to me, it's a good thing. I don't know why she didn't ask me, but Liz is an easy mark.
Well, yeah, go with the low-hanging fruit.
Matter of fact, I told the clerk I'd volunteer to do it. So put me on the list. I guess I'm too controversial.
What?
First she yelled.
Who would have said that about you?
I would have.
I would never say that. Okay, I'd say that.
I mean, I love for people to say something stupid in front of me and me get to challenge it. God, I love that. And they'll do it to Liz. They just do it to me very often.
Well, a lot of the things I watch on.
Buffet.
all the things I watch on YouTube, one thing I watch is I Don't Work Here, Lady.
There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I never get approached by people at Walmart or anywhere about,
Anything?
yeah, you know,
Well,
come help me and I'm going to call your manager. I want that to happen. So I can scream out, lady, I don't want to have sex with you in your car.
oh, I would love that. Make sure you get that on video.
Oh, yeah. That'd be a TikTok moment. But if I had a TikTok account.
I always walk around with a scowl on my face, so don't talk to me. That works real good.
I mean, there's r/ I Don't Work Here, lady on YouTube, and then there's Dark Fluff. I Don't Work Here. They have other ones, Entitled People, other video series, but I like the I Don't Work Here. And some of those are like, oh my God, how? And it's the wild Karens in the wild, you know. Or Kens. Wild Kens. They're great. I enjoy them. And I'm like, how come I don't get ever, or how come I never get, you know, approached by something like that? Because I know exactly, and some of these people, they're quick on their feet about responding.
Yeah.
Where's the eye curlers? Well, I don't know. My eyelashes curl naturally. No, in the store. Well, I don't know. You know, some of these guys are like, yeah, I got your number. You are.
Firesign Theater had a bit about professional arguers. And this guy knocks on your door, and the person opens up the door. Can I help you? You know, and they started out, not really. And well, what are you here for? What are you here for? You know, and it's just this
cyclical.
Cyclical argument. It gets really crazy. I always love that one.
Yeah, I think someone tried that at my house. I just said, close the door. Of course, someone comes to the front door anyway. I can't talk to them at the door.
No.
I have to beat the dogs back and shut the door behind me.
Yeah. So I haven't had any in a long time. I think the last time that I had a visit from the JW folks.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I had just got done reading Jefferson Bible and the Jefferson Bible. And his premise was take out all the magic, you know, take out all that stuff, and just the red letter stuff, you know,
Yeah.
and what's being said, which basically when you get to the end of it, you realize, oh, it's just basic moral code stuff, right? And so,
Basically all it is.
yeah.
What all Jesus taught.
But like Jefferson, I don't accept the divinity. Well, for some reason, I had it in my head that JWs don't either accept the divinity, and I'm like,
No, they
do.
They do. They actually believe that they will become gods of their own planets too.
Oh, I didn't know that. But
Yeah.
anyhow.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. I misspoke. That's LDS.
Oh,
Sorry,
so
wrong group.
so anyhow, so last time I had a visit, I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, under the assumption that you don't, you know. So I open up the door, step out, and everything, and first thing I do is ask them this question. I said, it's my understanding you guys don't believe in divinity, and they're like, huh? And I'm like, whoa, okay, maybe you do. And well, yes, we do. And I'm like, well, I don't. And that just pretty much they just kind of like stopped.
Well, here's a follow-up question. And why does your Kingdom Hall have no windows?
Well, you can ask the Mormons that.
And the Mormons too. Yeah. Yeah. What are you hiding in there?
I think you guys are a bunch of masons.
Yeah.
Rolling people up in carpets.
Yeah, come on. Kingdom Hall? Come on. Masons Hall, Kingdom Hall, same
Yeah,
thing.
but anyhow. That's the last time I got a visit. They probably put a big X on that guy.
Dad loves.
Oh, I know. Dad would invite him in.
Come on in. Want coffee?
Yeah. Let's have a discussion.
Let's talk Bible.
Yeah, I can remember that.
Yeah, they'd leave with their tails between their legs. Dad loved that.
It's all about debate. It's all about debate.
And you know, I'm not sitting here dissing their denomination or anything, but they came.
I am.
I like it when they send the children in first. They don't get gunned down, then we'll send the women in. Then maybe the men.
It was never the kids up in Minot. It was always an older lady.
Send the older people first.
No, older lady and a younger lady. And sorry, Liz, but I was a man. I can't help it. There was this couple come up. I was out in my garage, and these two ladies walk up in their JW, and I turn around and I'm like, this girl had this low cut, voluptuous.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sorry,
and you're
Liz.
doing mission work that way?
Yeah, sorry, Liz. I couldn't look at her eyes.
Well, she had eyes, but they were under a low cut.
Yeah. And the other lady's talking to me. I'm like, so finally I'm like, I asked him, I had an interesting question for him. Because they, it's my understanding that they believe that Christ came down in the early 1900s, okay? And I says, well, is that associated with that meteor hit in Russia where it just lay waste all the trees and stuff?
Oh,
I don't remember the name.
I know what you're talking about.
They're looking at me like, huh?
Tunguski?
Something like that, yeah. And they're
I
like,
know that's not right.
they're looking at me. I says, yeah. They never found a crater. This thing like bounced on the earth and just flattened all the trees and for miles. And well, no, we'll look into that. I'm like, yeah, I might support your theory. That's the best I could do with Miss, Playboy.
Miss Voluptuous, yeah.
I mean, then they showed up again, and same couple, same two ladies, and I'm like,
Was she dressed more modestly the second time? Oh,
nope.
my
They
goodness.
had a hook.
No.
Come to my
Yeah.
church, look what you get to see.
Start your free trial today.
I'm like, oh God, it's all horseshit to me.
Oh, jeez. We had Karen and I were sitting outside. This was at the farmhouse in town in Salem, and they came up. Karen and I were sitting outside on the porch, and they came up. Woman and a man. I guess they were husband and wives, and she started talking to Karen regarding, walking behind the man and stuff. Well, you don't talk that kind of stuff to Karen. And although Karen's slow to boil, when she gets there, run.
Yeah.
And she started going back at this woman like, yeah, no, I don't walk behind him.
Yeah.
He may walk behind me,
That's fine.
but I don't walk behind him. Boy,
I walk behind Liz because she walks faster than me.
Yeah, it's
My
kind
knees hurt.
Well, Karen doesn't walk as fast anymore. I'm more at the dragger behind me. But I keep her at arm's
You
length,
got your
not
reach.
3 feet.
Yeah, now she walks behind me.
Yeah.
But it's and the LDS in Salt Lake with Tia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they've got her marked because she's like, don't. As a matter of fact, when I was out there, the last time I was out there, I was going into the apartment. I come downstairs to Tia's apartment, and they're like these two classic you know, two classic, what are they called, elders,
Yeah.
you know, standing at the next door. Oh, hey, how you doing? And come walking up. I'm like, I'm doing fine. I'm not interested in it. And I can promise you, this person is not interested. And I wouldn't even knock on the door, and I went on in. And Tia goes, thanks, Dad, because that's what I tell them. And I slammed the door in their face. I said,
Yeah.
well, you better be careful here. They might mark you.
Yeah, because there's LDS, that's the standard LDS, and then there's FLDS, fundamental LDS, the polygamous.
I knew a guy in Minot, they had two LDS. They had the fundamentalist and the normal. And a friend of mine, her husband was the fundamentalist,
Oh yeah,
but he was cool.
yeah.
And, you know, I love his name was Orville Wager, and he and his wife they lived out in Deering, North Dakota. They had a farm out there,
Oh,
and what's so cool is Liz and I had bought this Subaru in 1980, and then we made a trip out to see my. I don't know. You must have been in the military at that time, right?
I don't know what
Okay,
year.
well, anyhow, we went out to Oregon to visit. Kids were all a little tiny and not in school and stuff. It was in September. And so we went out there and, to visit, okay? So we had North Dakota plates. So one of the places we stopped, we took Highway 2 out. And there's a really cool place to stop and look at the Columbia Gorge or the river. And so because we'd stopped there before, we stopped there, and that was a cool scene. Walked over to where the edge of the cliff was at, where you're looking down. It's just there's the Columbia down there, and
2 miles down.
yeah, I know. I mean, this little speck looks like the birds out there. But anyhow, saw some acrobatic planes flying around. And we're all standing there looking down and everything. This plane comes zooming right down the face of the cliff in front of us.
Oh wow.
And I mean, freaked me out because I didn't hear him coming.
Oh wow.
And leveled out on the water and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh God, that was awesome. But anyhow,
Where can I throw my $100 at this guy so he can take me down that canyon face?
so the Subaru was a hatchback, right? So open it up and I'm putting the stuff away, and these folks are walking by, and I close the door, close the hatch. This guy goes, "Oh, you're from North Dakota?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we're from Minot." "Oh, really?" And he says, "Well, we're from a little town outside of the base. I can't think of the name of it, but it's on the other side of Highway 83, close to Deering." And I says, "Well, hey, do you know Orville Wager?" And he goes, "Well, yeah, he's a good friend of mine." I'm like, think about this. I'm where? And I meet somebody that knows Orville Wager. That happened twice on that trip. Mary had come out, and we went to the sand dunes. Same thing. I'm closing the hatch. Guy says, "Oh, you're from North Dakota?" Yeah. "Where are you from?" And he tells me, and I'm like, "Do you know Orville Wager?" "Yeah, he's a great friend of mine." I get back and I'm like, "Orville, run for governor. Everybody knows you."
All across the whole continent, they know you.
I said, "Everybody knows you."
How'd that work out?
That didn't.
Oh man.
Orville Wager.
And he lived in Deering?
Deering.
Deering.
Yeah, John Deering.
Oh.
No, it's Deering, North Dakota.
Oh.
A little, I don't even know what it is now.
At dairy farm there?
No, he was grain farmer.
Oh, okay.
Most folks up there are grain farmer.
Okay. That's amazing.
I can't even think of a dairy. Oh, yeah. There was a dairy out by Carpio. There's a town called Carpio. It was on 52 going north. There's a dairy outside of Carpio. There's probably a bunch more. I just didn't see them.
Yeah. Any traveler, I settle here and I shall call this
The world.
Yeah, this is my little world. No. So what's on your game plan today?
I got to work on my tractor. I don't know if I'll do it today. It's too humid. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
It's
you
too
know,
hot, too cold. My knees hurt.
the sun's out. No.
Son, Liz told me you need to get the tractor running, which,
Technically, she's right.
no, she's correct. I'm just lazy.
Oh,
But I need to get it running to get the bush hogging done
yeah.
around the place.
I still have been threatening to mow up the leaves in the front yard, and it's like, yeah, okay, I'll get to that. I'll wait till the grass grows up through it, and then
I'm going to do a.
I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah, I'll take a little more. Can't wait to pee.
Oh my good lord.
Ah, TMI, TMI.
Morning, guys.
So, yeah, I got to work on that.
Oh, what's going on with it now?
It's either the battery or the cables are dirty. I cleaned the cables up, and I'm thinking I didn't charge up the battery because I hadn't run it in a long time,
Right.
and which shouldn't have been an issue. But so I ended up thinking, well, maybe the solenoid's wearing down, and it wasn't. I bought a new one and put it on there. But when I did that and hooked everything up, this shouldn't have any effect. But instead of doing the wires exactly the way they were on the other one, I put this outer wire, which is just a service wire to lights and stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So after that, normally before I could turn it on, I'd get a red light, but it wouldn't turn on. Should have charged the battery then. And so I didn't. I know how to troubleshoot, but I just do dumb things sometimes. But anyhow, I changed the solenoid, put this back, turn the key, no light. So I looked down inside, and there's like 4 giant wasp nests and a bird's nest down in there, which shouldn't
Want to
have.
borrow my pressure washer?
No, shouldn't have any effect on it, right?
But I think
cleaned that all
so.
out.
Yeah.
And then I charged the battery, and I still didn't do anything. So now I'm wondering, because I didn't put that wire the way it's supposed to. So it's the stuff I want to look at, but it's like I don't want to. I'm lazy. I'm interested in other things.
Like streaming. Now that I can stream.
Now that I can stream,
Yeah.